Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Audi S6. Before we get into this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Audi here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this S6. This one is available for sale for the time being, so I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below if you're interested. If you have any questions whatsoever, just ask for Landon. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.9 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 28 on the highway, with power outputs being 444 horsepower and then 443 pound-feet of torque. And it gives this car a 0 to 60 time of 4.4 seconds. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see distinctive lines there on either side. Coming down below, you can see really sharp daytime running lights there, and then look at the headlights as well. Pretty dang bright. We've got parking sensors integrated into the front end, and then you guys can see we've got chrome for the Audi logo, and then we have a little S6 badge as well. And putting it all together, I think that Audi did a really good job with the styling on this. Coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 255, 35, 21 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the wheel design with the silver there on the top. And notice that's like metallic gray behind that. Pretty cool kind of like cut there in the fender. And then notice that the mirror cap is blacked out and then the window trim is also blacked out, but then the door handles are body painted. And then here's your full side view for the S6. You guys can see it's a pretty large sized sedan. So here's our key fob. We've got our unlock function, we've got the opening here for the trunk, lock function with the Audi logo, and then we've got the little S badge there on the back. But anyways, press that a couple times. Now, popping inside, storage space is actually really solid, and that's one of the big benefits of the S6 over something like an A4, for example, is you get quite a bit more storage in the trunk. And then when you're all done, just plop that right down. You guys can see with the Audi logo, and then we got another S6 badge here off to the side. And then look how cool the tail lights are, and of course it does Audi's fancy thing with the sequential light there at the top. And then look at the parking sensors here at the bottom with the exhaust tips as well. Those are super aggressive. And putting it all together, some of you might say that this looks just like a giant A4, and well, you're kind of correct, but also I still think it looks good. Now, popping inside, you guys can see really nice stitching, and then the texture here just is fantastic. And we've got some like Alcantara, you've got some more stitching, so like lots of colors and textures. And then that continues onto the seats. Really cool stitching design all down the center too. Legroom here in the back is really good. We got a little storage pocket here. You guys can see we've got some vents, and we have our own climate zone for either passenger. And then headroom back here is also really good. And this is really cool. We have a cup holder armrest center console thingy, whatever you want to call it. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, it's identical to the rear with like the material used in design, but we do have some more controls here. You guys can see for the windows, for example, and then our mirror adjustments. Mirrors do power fold in. Got the memory seat function here as well, and then you guys can see with the mirrors right there. And yeah, overall, nice looking door panel. And then here's the front seat. Notice it's got the S logo in it, and then that same cool design all down the center portion. Power adjustments here on the side. Got another S logo there, and then look how nice the pedals are. And then you saw from earlier the light controls here, and then I like how they like stack all the trim. I think it looks cool. Also, steering wheel, power adjustable. Now, taking a look at the steering wheel itself, you guys can see you've just got like leather here at the top and the bottom, but then notice we got the golf ball texture here on the side, which looks really cool, and it gives you a better grip. Paddle shifters here on the back, and then we got like our voice command controls. You guys can see controls here for the center stack, and then of course our turn signal stock and our windshield wiper stock. Now, here's the center gauge cluster. First off, we got these menus here at the top we can scroll through, but then if I go into like the navigation menu, press the view button, pulls up with the full map view rather, which I think is really cool. So it's cool that you can completely change like the viewpoint of the gauge cluster, so really customizable overall. Now, in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and actually if you turn the camera all the way, the actual camera view moves. You got the bird's eye view because this has the full 360 camera system, so you can see outside that way, but then you can also just do the other camera views. So really good camera system overall. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, we have a shortcut bar here on the side, and then you guys can see with the screen itself, really good response time. But the most important thing with Audis is to pop into the vehicle tab here. So with the seats you've got some adjustment there, but the cool thing is with the drive mode select. So notice we've got a comfort, auto, dynamic, and then an individual that we can go between, and it'll adjust the suspension based on the drive mode that you're in. And then we have our secondary screen down below that has controls for like the heated seats, for example, also like the climate as well, and then like your auto stop start there at the top. And then also got this for like the drive mode select, stability control, hazard lights, and then stuff for the climate system on top of that. And then look at like our volume control here. And then this is just for the safety tech to pull that up. And then you can see for the parking sensors. And then of course, our red stop start button. We got our fancy shifter here, again with kind of like the more golf ball-like texture. And then we've got some cup holder action here, parking brake, and then with the center console, it's kind of weird because you just like lift it up, but you got some USBs and nice material use overall. Speaking of nice material use, like look at how like the vents all connect. Like fit and finish on this is fantastic, but also just looks really good. And then pretty normal glove box. Up top, we got our control here for the sunroof. It's just a regular sunroof in terms of the size. Now this is our window sticker for this S6. This doesn't have that many options added to it, frankly. It has basically the color with the interior and exterior and the black optic package. But anyways, total MSRP on this one originally, $76,990, which is like half the price of an RS6, which is crazy. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, and through the rest of the rear. And well, I guess we will reverse away. And since this is a pre-owned S6, it has a name from the previous owner. They called this Stormtrooper, which I feel like that's what every single person calls a car that is white with black accenting. Maybe that's what I need to name my Mustang that has a similar theme. But the only reason I'm showing this, because even though it's not exciting, is just to show you like how good this 360 camera system is, because this is a very tight parking lot. And I mean, you can see here, the camera system makes this really easy, because this is, again, it's not a very small car. It's a pretty long sedan. And so like I'm able to maneuver this whole situation pretty well. I mean, look at that. 10 out of 10. Anyways, actually setting off here in the S6, and I guess this will be a little bit of a different driving route than I normally do. But the first thing that I really like is the seats. They're actually really comfortable. But I've noticed that, like, again, this car's got, I'll just show you more. I think it has like 11,000 miles on it. I might be wrong. But it seems like the seats have like held their original firmness pretty well. So we're gonna pop it in comfort mode, so that'll adjust the suspension. Dynamic has the suspension lowered a little bit, which is obviously great for handling, but it's not gonna be as good for ride quality. So I'm interested to see in the comfort mode how the ride quality feels. And watch you adjust this down a little bit for me. Really good, actually. Yeah, this has that same kind of dual personality that I noticed with the RS6, where it can be a really comfortable luxury car, but then, you know, when you put it in dynamic mode, it firms up quite a bit, and then, you know, acceleration with that one's obviously way crazier because it's got the 4-liter V8, but I'm sure this will still punch pretty hard with power figures that it has. Super comfortable. Like, the suspension with this is great. This might even be more comfortable than the RS6, but it's hard to tell. I'd have to drive them back to back to really be able to tell. Brake's good on it though. I do like that. Also, I didn't notice this before. We got like the red here on the side too, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Yeah, I'm super impressed with the ride quality so far. Engine's really good too, so we'll pop it back into dynamic. Stuttering a lot today apparently. Let's actually pop it into the, oh no, we'll have it in the S mode, so manual mode too. Ooh! Does like pops out of the exhaust. That's fun. I'm a fan so far. Oh, look at that, 911. It's pretty cool. Okay, so get a little acceleration here. Yeah, it's quick. I've driven several other cars with this powertrain though, and you know, it's a really fun powertrain. Pop it back into the automatic mode here. I guess this was not the best time to film because I guess we got the schools going out, so now we got to drive super slow. But that'll give me some time to sum things up. So I think this car looks really cool on the outside. I'm a big fan of this powertrain. I do prefer the 4-liter V8 that Audi has in some other vehicles, but I still think this is a really solid powertrain overall. This has a similar like dual personality type situation to the RS6, where you can basically turn it into a luxury car or you can turn it into a performance car depending on, you know, what you're looking for out of the situation. So I really like that. So overall, I mean, great car. Obviously this powertrain's a little bit more exciting in the, you know, 4 and the 5 rather than the 6 version of Audi's sedan lineup, but I still think that it's a very strong powertrain for this car. So let me know what you guys think about this.